Hello everyone. It sure is a pleasure always to come to you and be able to talk with you and share knowledge and hopefully wisdom of how things are done and how we can regenerate people and also how we blossom spiritually. You never want to forget that, because in these times, this was on the History Channel the other day. We were talking about the Kali Yuga, and they were stretching it over to Christianity, showing how in Revelations it was talking about how these end of times. So you notice how the negativity is picking up. There's the positives picking up, but the negatives picking up with it, because that's the duality and the nature of it. So just remember, you have to become detached. Whatever happens, to become detached and let it all go, and you won't create any more karma for yourselves, and you'll get free. And by the time this lifetime's done for you, you'll be able to soar like you would never believe. You'll be in the highest God worlds there are. I mean, there's just no words to describe the importance of working yourself free from this particular area of creation. Notice how finite it is, eh? All I can say is there's one reason I do this. And the one reason I do this is this little letter here. Almost breaks me up every time I read it. And it's Delilah, or it's Diaz, age 7. And she's saying, I want to thank you for making our family healthy, and myself. And it goes on. 7 years old, guys. This is why we do this. This is why we do this. Help these kids get their health back, help their parents get their kids healthy and get themselves healthy. That's why we do this. It's not about... So, important that everybody work together here, and as a team. We can have disagreements or whatever, but we want to work as a team. Divide and conquer is the World Bank's thoughts, it's medical thoughts, anybody that understands war. And so for the medical profession, they're at war with us. It's just the same thing over and over again. But thank you, sweetheart. This is so sweet of you. And I tell you, this is such a beautiful letter. You saw our grandson up there. He's cute. That's enough to say this is why you do it. 7-year-olds getting their health back and understanding that. I mean, it's just heart-wrenching. Woo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Little Miss Diaz. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your love, your cards. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you're getting your health back, everybody. I know that some are struggling here and there, but you just have to realize that's your thing, and don't let anything stop you. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't listen to all these, oh, I could add this, I could add that. Don't add things. Sometimes more is not better, guys. Sometimes less is better. So sometimes you just want to kick back and have less, be less, and enjoy more. The less you have, the less you use the mind, the happier you'll be, and the more fun you'll have. So you have to determine, what do you want out of life? You want to have fun and enjoy life and not get emotionally ripped and mentally ripped over everything, because this world is, you always have your negative beings, you have every level here. It's a tough place to be, and especially today, a lot of souls are so trapped in what's going on here, they have no idea what they're involved in. And so it's a big deal. You're going to see some things in creation yet that might do some shockarooskies. I thought this was interesting about Samuel West and Clarity University. Stephen West is the son of Samuel West, I take it. We'll have fun class this time discussing this, because they his dad became a member of the Lymphologist Association of the International Lymphologist Society. It's a medical society that, I know they talk about pure and unpure and stuff like that. I don't know, you can look at stuff like that. But it's enough to say that these are, in my opinion, a cut above in medical thinking. because they understand the lymphatic system, and they understand that it is the causative factors of almost every, what they call diseases and things like this. Their thought is that the lymph system deals with blood proteins. It takes blood proteins and helps to neutralize them and things like this and carry them out of the body, I suppose. I haven't read the whole thing on it. I don't only have the bits and pieces. I'll say this, at least they've got that far. At least they've got that far. And this is old. I mean, I don't know what year this started. The Society of Lymphology is what it's, International Society of Lymphology. And it was in 1966. I thought it's pretty good. The sad thing is that there has to be so much ignorance in the main medical associations and stuff. It's amazing that the mind blocks its own self from growth, and that's just what happens, you know. It's important, and hopefully this university and Stephen will get a little deeper into that and understand that this is about cellular proteins or waste, acids, but also, you know, the blood does dump its waste into the lymph system, and proteins are the acids that it would dump into the lymph system because it's a lipid-based system for protection. But it isn't just for blood proteins. This is, you know, so there is that a little bit of that, I want to go back to dumping waste into the venous system again type thinking, a little bit in there. And you got to get rid of that. But outside of that, they talk about the zero gravity and that sort of thing. But there is some pressure in the lymphatic system, though. But anyway, it's good stuff, though. I love this stuff. Anytime we can grow in the understanding of the lymph system, and that means society. It's sad that the AMA did not pick up on these, the lymphatic systems more, and at least understand them a little more, because then the bridge wouldn't be so far to gap. You know, but at least these top medical doctors really understand there's a lymph system there, and I wonder what their thought is with the new lymphatic system. We'll find out. We'll have discussions of this at the class. There was something that Shannon brought up. You put an ice cube back there at the below the cerebellum, right there, the base of the skull. It's supposed to relieve all kinds of problems. It says leave an ice cube for 20 minutes. I don't think I would leave an ice cube right back on that sensitive neural spot for 20 minutes. But again, that's the main, getting into the sympathetic or parasympathetic, coming into the cerebellum and the autonomic. So this is a big center. So absolutely, bringing alkalization to an acidic zone is always helpful, always helpful. Because again, you're doing the same thing in detox. You're bringing in alkaline principles into a highly acidic medium, a dehydrated acidic medium. And therefore, then you start to see hydration and fluids viscosity starting to change, and then you start to see fluids flowing more and more. And I suppose part of this is also true interstitially in the kidneys as well, getting dehydration from just acidosis, and then in time, then your creatinine starts climbing up there. I don't know if you saw this one. It was an experiment. It was on History Channel or Discovery Channel the other night, and it was showing two primates. And these are lower end monkeys in terms of they have the possibility of being more omnivorish when you depends where they're living. But they had two, and I don't know which type of monkeys they were, but the lady was giving them a rock through one door, and then they would take it and give it back to her through another door. So the first monkey, these cages were tied together, one in one and one in another. And the first monkey, she would give him cucumbers for doing that. And the second monkey, she would give him grapes. Well, when the first monkey saw that his buddy was getting grapes and he was getting cucumbers, he went nuts. Run the cage, I want those grapes. I don't want no damn cucumbers, I want grapes. And she was saying that, of course, they're much preferred. Well, obviously, they're frugivores, just like we are. But I thought it was quite interesting that he preferred the grape far more than the cucumber. I like cucumbers. And cucumbers would be the fruit of a veggie, so to speak. He still preferred the fruits, big time. So much so that he got real angry that he couldn't get the grapes. And it was like, wow. But it showed a good experiment to show you more and more that primates and Homo sapiens are frugivores. And out of the higher species in the nervous system you'll find more fruit eating. You notice that? When you're getting into more self-consciousness and stuff like that, the fruits are those are the foods. So it's interesting to look at that. And then you look at the high vibrational rate of fruits and the chemistry of fruits. Now we're talking about tree-ripe, properly grown fruits, guys, and berries. We're not talking about what you get in a grocery store, which is crap. We tend to judge what we see sometimes, not understanding that the fruit we get in America anyway is crap. I mean, there is some good stuff, but I guess our farmers thought more for money than not. And we pick unripe, but I understand that's the way we work things here. We don't have open markets much and stuff like that. We have grocery stores everywhere. And I don't know how often they get in produce, but some of them are real bad. The produce sections are lacking big time, and all these farmers are picking unripe, especially fruit. You'll see oranges go by green all the time going to Tropicana. And that's so bitter, and that's just more acidic. And that's the problem. It's the quality of the fruit. You go to Thailand, you go to Costa Rica or somewhere, you have a totally different opinion when it comes to fruit. But it's just man's food. You have to understand, man is designed as a frugivore. Periods, plain and simple. Carrington wrote extensively about it. A lot of docs wrote extensively about it. We do okay with vegetables. That's okay. I have no problem with that. But the main food of man is fruit. Berries, and of course we created melons. But easy to digest, highest food of energy and nutrition. Why wouldn't it be the food for man? It's just our conditioning. We'd rather eat dead animals, milks, and all the crap that's why we're where we are. What's this? Message here. Hi, I hope this message will reach you. Not sure for email address. I would like to give Robert and all the staff news about what's going on in France. Oh yeah, this is about getting our book translated in France, which should have been done a long time ago. I apologize. You guys have been working hard on that. I love you for it. My publisher is the one. But we had a nice little conversation. I think he has a little change of heart. Yeah. YouTube. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Return to Shannon. Herbs, healthy or not? Isn't that funny? Herbs, healthy or not? Let's insult God again. Here we go. Let me see here. This is from Lauren. That's right, Karyn. And so herbalists give you a maximum dosage, and herbs never address the underlying issue. Lauren, where did you get that information from? And who are you to even give this kind of information out like that? I love people that give information out that have no experience with herbs or anything like that, and they give this kind of idea about this. These people have just, they need some lessons in that. And herbs never address the underlying issue. Oh, really? Oh, really? Where did you get that? Change your concept of herbs. Understand that herbs are made specifically for specific tissues. Herbs are made for the bodies. All the vertebrates eat them. And so herbs are made for the bodies. They're just vegetables. And then you have some roots and things. You scared of those things, are you? People are scared of their own selves sometimes. And this thing about herbs, my God, most of you guys love them, don't you? Because once you're on them, you go, my God, what a difference. The things we can do with herbs are unbelievable. But you keep insulting God because that's who created them. And all animals, and we discovered them. That's the way it's supposed to be, or we wouldn't have discovered them. Get that? When something happens, you have to understand it was supposed to happen. That's God. That's creation. And you can't do a thing about it. So to cut down herbs is to cut down the Creator. And if you want to do that, you go right ahead. But sometimes the kickback from that isn't pleasant, And here's more. One more way to suppress the body's healing symptoms. One more way to suppress. This lady has no understanding of herbs whatsoever, but she freely gives her opinion as a narcissistic individual that this is what it does. And you're totally wrong with that. You're 100% totally wrong with that. Try some lymphatic formulas and see what you think. Matter of fact, try our number 5, lymph node and lymphatic formulas, and see if it doesn't kick your butt. but in the positive way, because this is how you get rid of tumors. This is how you fix the kidneys. I repair tissue all the time with botanicals so much faster than I ever would on the foods. Matter of fact, aren't foods herbs? I think so. I think they're all listed as foods by the FDA, honey. Herbs are listed as foods. So, you know, get your head on right here and quit putting out false information, because it's people like you that put out false information that people pick up on, and then it's bad karma for yourself. You don't realize that. But anytime you affect people, and this is why you have to think, is it kind, is it true, and is it necessary? 3 things before you speak. Is it kind, is it true, is it necessary? Because the blowback to you from that can be a good one too. You can't just put things out and think, oh, you're free to do that. Cause and effect. Every action gets an opposite and equal reaction. You're getting a reaction from me as an herbalist of 50 years almost, and regenerating tissue around the world like nobody's business, and you have these kind of ideas. You don't know anything about herbs. And I just love people that don't know anything about anything, but they love to give their opinions. Talk about narcissistic. You know, and this is the problem. If you don't know, don't be afraid. Be strong and say, I don't know. It's not a negative thing if you don't know everything in the universe. You're not supposed to. It's too much. No individual could ever possibly do it. It's in consciousness. The mind couldn't even begin to wrap itself around that. The mind isn't what you think it is. So to make statements like this is regurgitating, but it's common out there. People giving their opinions about herbs. One medical doctor told one of our clients that, oh, he's very familiar with our herbs and it causes liver damage. So I said, I want to get a message to him. If he does it one more time, I'm going to have my attorney sue him for slander, because you don't know what you're talking about. We regenerate tissue. You guys are regenerating people like nobody's business. Pretty embarrassing when some layperson comes out here, listens to some videos, maybe goes to a 5-4-day intensive, and then goes out and curing lung cancer and everything else. Little embarrassing? I would think so. You know, and that's just what it is, because we know truth. And if you don't know truth, you come back from positions like this, and then all the people you affect negatively, you get the karmic blowback. And think about that for a minute, and how massive of a karma you can create, and how many lifetimes it takes to work it out. And whether you believe in that or not, if you research, you'll find it in Christianity and Jesus and the Essenes and the Gnostics. You'll see that same understanding. You see it in India. You see it all through the world in certain places. There are some people that don't understand that, and they should, because their religions are violent. This is not, that's the way of the world, guys. We need to hug each other, not kill each other, and start loving each other, and have fun on the rock. I mean, what kind of fun is it to live in a hole and always have guns and fight? Blowing up people and stuff. You're trapping yourselves in this level for eons. Not good. But it just, when people give opinions like this, guys, don't fall into this. Actually, be strong and blow back, because this person needs to know they can't just come up there and indiscriminately say crap. They don't have any awareness whatsoever. There is no suppression. Herbs are not pharmaceuticals, honey. Not at all. And if you think that, then you must be smoking something in the back room that's not real good, because they're totally different. They're put here by God, and they're perfect for man, and they work beautifully for man, and they're incredible. So I don't know where you come from, but I think you need a little understanding. And he goes on, she's highlighted here, I don't ever recommend targeting specific glands and organs. Oh, you don't? Well, what kind of healer are you? Not much. No offense, but you're saying crap here that you don't know too much about this at all. There's clearly nothing more powerful or effective than fasting, because fasting is based on one very simple principle. Like every little organism on the planet, the body is completely self-healing, and fasting simply provides the optimal conditions the body to cleanse and heal. This is true in one sense, water fasting is. But if you're a practitioner of the arts and you've been involved for many years, people are at the level you can't fast. You're going to fast a cancer patient that's got cancer all through them, or what we call acidosis all through them, and destruction all through them. You're going to fast them on water, are we, honey? I don't think so. I don't think you've had top complicated cases enough to understand how you get them back. You have to be real careful. You're saying things here that you have to be real careful, guys, that to listen to this particular lady could be not good for you. Rather, I would suggest that herbs are only capable of suppressing symptoms. Boy, are you totally wrong. Where did you get that? Lauren, you're crazy, honey. You local. You have no idea. You're talking about pharmaceuticals. You're talking about herbs. Herbs enhance. Herbs promote. Herbs heal. Are you kidding? You have no experience. Look at this. Even Dr. Morse says fasting is about. You have no experience in healing, sweetheart. I don't know what to tell you. There you're going. Even truly too depleted to fast, which is exceptionally rare. No, not exceptionally rare. I don't know. How old are you and how long you've been doing this? I can tell you how old I am and how long I've been doing this and my friends before me. So I just disagree with this lady as she's going on here. And I'm not even going on it because it's ridiculous stuff. It's crap. You know, when you're a healer and you're a good healer and you're into regeneration of tissue, you're looking for help. And when I see someone like this, I know that they haven't reached that level of healer that they need to yet, because they're saying negative things about stuff they have no clue. The natural hygienic people did the same thing because they have no clue. And again, you're going back and making comments and accusations on subject matters that you're not familiar with, because you're totally wrong on that. Herbs are used to promote and enhance the function of cells, not to suppress the function of cells. I don't know where you come from. That's the problem. That they enhance the body real good, real good. And I think most of you have been on this know this by now. So sorry to get so certain, but I'm tired of people like that say crap like this that is totally off base, that has no clue of what herbs are like. These are incredible little things. Without the herbs, the future is a little bleak because foods aren't doing it. Foods are hybrided so bad. Again, we all have to move to Costa Rica, Thailand, or somewhere to survive in the future because it is getting bad out there. The man hasn't got the time. So anyway, I disagree with you, Lauren, quite adamantly, and I can prove my side. I don't think you can prove yours. Okay. Now this is Dear Antler Velvet. Hi, please pass my comment along with hearing Dr. Morse's video about removing it from his videos. Instead of changing the ingredients to accommodate a few naysayers, add a leaflet that explains the velvet in harvest from domesticated deer. Yeah, that's a good idea, Karyn, and I probably will do something like that. But this is a you have to realize, guys, creation is violent as it is beautiful. You have the beauty. I saw the sunrise the other day, and I don't think I've seen a sun so big. It was so beautiful coming up. It was beautiful. Now, I'm on the West Coast, so I see the sun, going down, but certain ways we can see it coming up, too. And, man, it was just so beautiful. And then you have war, and you have war within the animals, and then you have one killing another to eat. I mean, this planet is violent as it is beautiful. That's nature. Man, we talked about this before, the duality of God. God is as beautiful, as magnificent as it is hideous and the other side. I mean, we're all taught to go to the good side, of course, but reality is there's only one being that's a creator. There's not a bunch of creators getting together creating stuff. You have to understand consciousness and all that, and that's hard to understand intelligence when this gigantic field we have called physics has it struggling. But in quantum physics, they're now understanding more about the intelligent nature of energy. And we're into realms where it's untouchable, unseeable. You can't touch or see these things physically because the mind isn't a physical organism. The physical brain is, but not your mind. Your emotions is not a physical part. You have the adrenal glands, which is the counter to that, and your solar plexus here, but it is not your emotions. That's a whole different body that you have within yourself. You don't really, it's hard to know these things until you have out-of-body experiences and you go from one body to another and you leave the emotional realms and you get above that. You don't deal with emotions anymore. You don't know these things until you get out there and try them on yourself. That's why I say have fun with out-of-body travels. These are fun things to play with. I mean, what else is left on the planet? It's getting more negative because the cycles are ending and stuff. What better than to get your body healthy, have fun, learn how to travel out of your bodies. Don't make that a fear thing. Say, oh, wow, that could be fun. Paul Twitchell and his sister played out of their bodies more than they played in their bodies. because you can travel to different planets, to different things. You can see so many. I mean, it's just, it's a freedom beyond what's hard to understand. Now, let me see. Return to Elizabeth. This is an encouragement video. Let me see here. This is a 10-year-old brain cancer. Oh, sheesh. Oh, my God. I don't know if I mentioned any names here. Is saying he can do this. He has done 100% fruit from today, and oh, good. Good, good, good. I've got this young man on 100% fruit, of course, and it's a 10-year-old brain cancer case. And then I've got another one in here the other day, a tumor behind her eye. She's a little older than 10, but this is what's out there, guys. And listen, we need every one of you. Every one of you that have the desire to open your heart and help others and enjoy and have fun and change your life into helping and being a part of the world, of being part of that upliftment. We need it. Because you get so many kids, and I told you the kids are in big, big trouble, right? And as you guys are learning about your kidney filtrations and the adrenals, we're also learning that genetically the downhill turn of the human cell is so bad, and we talked about that at the first. And we're seeing the lymph systems just messes in people. And look at these kids. Again, you can't. Operation to place a shunt to drain fluids approximately 6 weeks ago. No more treatment offered. Given 3 months diagnosis to live. It was diagnosed, okay. Also taking upper circ, brain, and nerve. I think we changed that. Diet of 60% to 70% raw fruit and salad, jelly, coconuts, and Irish moss. Hot and cold treatment on back of his neck. A couple of saunas. Has been doing pretty good over the past month. Walking better. Balance is improving well at some points. So he's getting better from this. So he's getting more balanced. His dad checked his urine at the weekend and saw lots of sediment. Yeah. Good. However, over the last 3 to 4 days, he seems to have gone backwards, feeling very down. This has happened since he ran out of the suppositories. Well, all I can say this is that there's going to be some ups and downs in anyone that's detoxifying, including the children. There's going to be days where it seems like he's worse and days it seems like he's so much better. And there is an up and down to the first parts of detoxification. Now, I want to see you take a 10-year-old and just fast him on water and get this out of here. And that makes the kidneys filter and everything else. You know, water fasting is good. I love it. There's no question about it. But there's a time and a place. And we have botanicals, and these botanicals are incredible. We have botanicals that just flatly break out tumors and stuff. So I'm telling you, the herbs are our babies, our friends. And anybody that doesn't understand that, then don't get in this field. Go away, you know, because you're not wanted here. You know, bringing negativity into something so beautiful is not what I'm going to tolerate. Because we have to stand firm at certain levels and protect that which is true, that which is beautiful. No one's doing that. And it's time we do that. It's time we stand up as one. So remember, we're starting this association, this whole Costa Rican project. It's exciting, and all of us will be part of this. I talked to another naturopath. She interviewed me yesterday on a show of hers, and she wants to become, we all want to become one. It's the only way we can survive and bring a higher order to this planet, which is so, but it is the way God put it. It is the way it is. Why it uses us to interject and elevate, you have to figure that out yourself. All I can say is, can't worry about it. You have to hit that kid. Could go through cold and flu-like symptoms, high fevers, all types of things. What's the benefit of a fever? Oh, the third kidney, the skin. Absolutely. Never be afraid of fevers. Now, children love 104, 105 fevers. Cool them down. Cold washcloth back of the neck or an ice pack, head, things like that. Put them in a little bath if you want to or something, but you don't want to get rid of the fever, but you can bring it down to 102 if you wanted or something, 103. Adults generally hang around 102, 103, but children, maybe they like to go on up. It's enough to say that you don't want to ever stop fevers, you know, because you'll stop the healing and detoxification process. And it's just a natural thing. The bodies do it themselves. So that would be important. Whatever you see going through, there's only one choice to get this out of this child. And I would probably not do upper circulations. I think we corrected that one, but I would not do upper. You know, when you have tumors, I'm not sure. I would rather not move blood. for a while because interstitial fluid has blood and lymph. So I just hate to stimulate more blood growth movement, even though we think that's nutritive, but it also could promote more activity, which could promote more waste. The problem is the inability to remove waste. So it's that simple. That's simple. You correct that, just like he's filtering now, the waste will start coming out. The tumor will open up and the body will start dispersing it little at a time until it's all gone. This is the nature of the beast. The body forms it and it unforms it. It's just a protective device. Understand, tumors are not cancers. Tumors are pockets of fluid. What kind of fluid does the body have in it? Blood and lymph. And most tumors have a little blood and lymph in them. Okay, interstitial fluid. Why would that be? You're not filtering. Why would the fluid back up in the body? There's a blockage. It's that simple. You don't have to have years of medical school. There's a blockage. Where could the blockage be? Well, this is about elimination of waste. So where would you go in the human body to look at elimination of waste? Well, you got your stool. Well, we know this is the GI tract, and that's digestive waste. But what about why are we eating in the first place, and who are we eating for? Our cells. All right, the cells make up everything, right? So you're feeding the cells. Now the cells are eating. Oh, this is good. You got 100 trillion cells now that are eating. This is good. Well, I like that oxygen. Ooh, give me some more. Right? Now, oh, I got to go to the bathroom now. Cells have to go to the bathroom. How do they do that? And how do the waste from cell metabolism and respiration, la 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 la, on down into the all the processes? Methylation, all the processes are going to give off some degree of chemical residues. Now, how are these chemical residues, which are acids, how are these acids removed out of the human body? Well, people have the asinine thought that the liver does. Well, I don't see the liver eliminating outside world. You can't expect the liver to transmutate all acids back to bases. That's ridiculous. So what are we missing? The urine, the kidneys. Fix that, and your secret is answered right there. And that's what this young man is doing good. And that's all you can do, Richard. You got to hit him hard. And you just keep going with the fruit with this young man. And everything you're doing is beautiful. And your young man will make it out of this. Brain cancer is a little further away from the kidneys than, let's say, lung or liver or something. But you can get this done. Got a lot of them, so you can get this young man back in a state of wellness. All you guys that are fighting this, the young lady with the tumor behind her eye, you can all do this. All do this. I had a young man from New York area come down here. His school heard about me, and they saved money, and they got the young man down here. And he was constantly growing tumors in him. And he had 30, I think he was 12 or 13, he had like 30 surgeries. So I set him in front of me, and I said, you understand what you need to do for this young man. You need to go on a fruit diet. I need to treat you like you lived on a tropical island, or pretend you're a monkey or something. And can you do that? He looked up at me and he said, Robert, he said, I'll do anything you say as long as I don't have to have another surgery. So guess what? We cleaned that young man up, no more tumors, and he's well and alive today. Dehydration during detox. Woo-hoo. Well, let's just hydrate with some fresh squeezed navel orange juice. Forgive me, I'm going through a little neuronic spell here. All right, Steve. Thanks for spending your time during these videos. Oh, thanks, Steve. You know what, man? I enjoy that. Sometimes I get a little quirky here, but, you know, sometimes people try my patience. You know, especially when you have people making comments against herbs and stuff when I've used them by the gallons for how many years, and we have successes that no one else does. And so when people that have no awareness about these things makes these kind of comments, it's just, I get tired of that. And after a while, I'm on the other side. I'm going to defend this all I can, because the problem is we haven't defended ourselves enough. And it's time we defend ourselves before everything's taken away. And look at Germany. Hot spot for herbs, essential oils, and stuff like that. So your great government signed up on the Codex agreement. So now look, So there's just, you know, the politicians and stuff, these guys, you know, time for some learning experiences, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I've seen all the ones. Wow, man, I don't know how you guys sit there and watch all these things, but blessing to you. I love you guys. Regarding my question, I'm a 60-year-old male and have been seriously detoxing for more than 2 years. Oh, that's pretty good. Trying to overcome a serious condition of chronic fatigue. These past few years, I've been eating 100% raw, 90% fruit. Wow, you've been kicking butt, man. With a month-long water fast at 13, you've been kicking butt. And a 2-month fruit fast in 14. Even so, I feel like I'm still a long ways off from being detoxified and regaining my health. Can I add try herbs? Because they just accelerate cleansing. They accelerate. There are herbs to rebuild kidneys. There's herbs to rebuild livers. There's herbs to rebuild all kinds of tissues in the body. There's herbs for everything out there. There's herbs for the lymph system. There's herbs to break up tumors. There's herbs to kill parasites. I mean, we have a pharmacopoeia like nobody's business, and a loving pharmacopoeia. Sure, there's toxic herbs out there. Compare it to pharmaceuticals. I mean, come on. You know, the herbal kingdom is incredible, I'm telling you, and it has been for thousands and thousands of years. We have at least a 5,000-year recorded history of the use of botanicals. So when someone comes up and makes comments negative about that, it's just, after a while, it's like, You know, souls have got to grow. I'm still a long ways off. Try herbs, and I'll tell you, you might go after those adrenal glands. You know, hit that, I don't know what your blood pressure is. If somewhere hanging around, say 115 or something, you might pop up on the 400 milligram adrenal glandular just to see if you can pop that up for a little bit. I know you've been doing real good on the raw, but you might just use a little bit of that there to see if that'll pop that up. If not, boy, I would live on some adrenal herbs for a while. You know, we got an adrenal formula, or you can get the Siberian ginseng, the parsley and stuff like that. I don't know. I have to look at your eyes. There'd be another thing is get a picture of your eyes and take a look at it, and you can see kind of where you are. If you had a good picture before this, you've been working this hard, you've had to change your iris. That would be really cool to see what you're doing there, Steve. I mean, you guys, that's what's cool to have a before and after picture, because you guys are doing so good. Some of you are way out there. You guys need to write your books and stuff. Remember that. Start writing as you get your wellness programs in and stuff, because I'm going to help promote them as much as I can, because the world needs to read about this, because you have these people like Lauren that still think herbs are toxic stuff or suppress. I don't know where she learned that. You know, and that's the problem. There's so much misinformation out there. I don't think she learned it from an herbal school, and there's plenty of incredible herbal schools out there. Try the Dominican in Canada. Dominican Herbal School, I have nothing but praise for those guys. Emerson, I don't know if they're still there, but they were really good. But there's a lot of great herbal schools around the world. I would vehemently disagree with you, my dear. All right. I am very thin. Okay, so that means you probably have malabsorption. This would be your lymph system interstitially, or in the small bowel wall. Again, get a copy of your eyes and see. Now, you could have sulfur in there. I mean, you could have some things where you need some help to pull this out. Sometimes the diet and fasting is just not enough. And I'll say in today's world, more and more and more. I'm looking for tools, but then I'm a practitioner. Some people are not practitioners, give off their opinions. It's like, oh, here we go. That's it. It's typical medical thinking. That's all narcissism. You know, when you give opinions on subject matters you are not familiar with whatsoever. And some people have a bad experience for one reason or another, and suddenly it's all bad. Just from one bad experience for some reason. Somebody gave them something wrong or something, you know. I'm still, let me see here, very thin and seem to be aging more rapidly than ever. That means you're highly acidic, my friend. That's what ages us. Matter of fact, if you're not acidic, how do you age? Go back to keeping cells alive indefinitely. You know, there's the other side of the thinkers of, well, cells transmutate every 7 years, but you have the other thinker that says that cells can live indefinitely as long as they're fed and cleaned. So you have a lot of different thinkers out there in the world. Take your pick, because it really doesn't matter to me. These things are just get your body healthy and have fun, because I'm more after you as soul than you as the physical body. Who cares? I mean, you get your physical body healthy, there's certain rules you follow, da-da-da-da-da. God gave you plenty of herbs to work with, the foods you have to find countries that have good foods, but, and work with agriculture and stuff, and let's get this planet back on. For example, although not yet gray, my hair has been falling out rapidly these past 2 years. That means, man, your lymph system is really backed up in your head area. So you really need to dig in. I don't know what to tell you other than to get on the herbal program, because if foods and water, and this is just a good kickback from what she was saying here, because when we get people like this where they reach plateaus with the foods, you take the herbs, they'll take you on to home. They'll take you right on into home, baby. And so you might want to get on our herbal program there. Go into the 14-week program if you can afford it. It's not that expensive. I know some lady, well, I won't go over the names and stuff, but her programs are like, wow, you charge that much and you don't even do what we do. So we can always add much more wrinkles. So that tells you that you're way too acidic. You might check your parathyroid gland in with the wrinkles. That's all acidosis, but acidosis is removing your calcium, therefore your connective tissue is getting weaker and you're wrinkling. So we're reversing that, and being raw this long, confusing. So it's enough to say, here's another case where I definitely would add herbs in this one. I like the herbs because for years I did the foods. I did just the foods. I'm a fruitarian thinker, and so I thought you could do everything with the foods. But then when I became a practitioner, of course I had health food stores, and I had my own line of supplements. I'm one of those creators, so I had my own line of vitamins and minerals. But I soon went oxymoron. And as I got my chemistry degree, I was going more oxymoron, because I was looking at it a little differently, because I had holistic background. So looking more at chemistry from holistic views, changing my way of what I was being taught. I was seeing through these things. And so it just helped me to realize. You can see from the attached pictures of my wrinkled fingers how dehydrated, oh my God. Well, dehydration like this, Steve, is definitely interstitial acidosis. So whatever you're doing, your kidneys aren't filtering. I'd get on some herbs, get my kidneys filtering, and there you're going to see the difference. Because at this, in 2 years, you should be a thing of beauty. You should be an Ian here, a thing of beauty in 2 years. So that tells me that you're malabsorbed, tells me you're everything here is just what you said it is, man. Just what you said it is. You're dehydrated. That's the acid side of chemistry. That means you're not filtering well. That also means you're malabsorbed, you're thin. And so you got to fix these things more. And you got herbs to open all this stuff up. It's really good. When I press on my fingertips, they remain depressed after quite a while. Oh, so you're what little tissue muscle you have there, you're edemic in it, right? So this is just showing you're highly acidic again. This is you need to fix this. In addition to the raw, mostly fruit diet for the past couple of years, I've also been consistently taking kidney, lymph, and bowel herbs and adrenal glandulars. Is there anything more I can do to improve this dehydration? You say, oh shit, Steve. So you have been taking some herbs too, huh? Been taking kidney, lymph, and bowel herbs. Wow, yeah. Here's his fingers. Wow. Looks like he hadn't been in water for so long, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's dehydration. You know what, Steve? Send me a picture of your eyes. Get you a picture of your eyes. Let me look at them. Let's go over them together. And make note that this is a 60-year-old dehydrated man. And let's go over them, and I'll go over them with you. Because it sounds like you might want to just have me write you up a protocol and let me guide you down that road. Give me a copy of your eyes, Steve, and let's see what we're doing here, okay? Your eyes photo pertain to the case below. Okay. All right, so let me go over this. Let's see, my husband is 58 years old, has been diagnosed with prostate cancer, PSAs of 9.52. Well, that's not bad. I mean, at 58 years old, it's high. If you were about 80 or 90 years old, you might hold that number and not have cancer, but, when you're in the 50s, yeah. I had a 45-year-old male in here, and I've said this before, cancer is one in every, I was reading a thing, this is about 10, 15 years old, was saying it was 1 in every 3. But I had a man in one day, and this is about 10 years ago, and I was saying, cancer is about 1 in every 4 or 1 in every 3. And this guy said, well, listen, I have 5 brothers and 4 of us have cancer. So you have to understand, understanding cancer is just simply understanding what you know about acids in the body and how it works. Just because they stamp a disease and everything, so they can treat it and make all this money and get research, all that crap is what it is. Understanding the truth is vital, first of all. And so, understanding this, the PSA 9.52. Jensen had a PSA of 1,300, and another gentleman I know in the jelly field had a PSA of 2,700. You know, when you start climbing, it's a... But I used to speak a lot to the man-to-man groups, and these are the American Cancer Society prostate cancer groups. And there was a gentleman who had PSAs of 25, and they punched him several times through the years and never found any cancer. So these are stronger tissues, you know, it just shows high inflammation, but you know, the kidneys are the thing. And mildly impaired liver, ALT is alkaline, is this alkaline phosphatase? 158. AST, oh maybe this is ALT is 158, AST is 59, GT is 303, K34, and immense in blood 35. Islamic measurement, I don't know if they are the same everywhere. Well, I'd have to see what your normal range is. I say liver enzymes here. You're probably real close. Alkaline phosphatase is also real close here. I don't think you have alkaline phosphatase here. You have ALT and AST. They're not that high, but why would you have elevated liver enzymes when you have prostate cancer? What is prostate cancer? That means that cells in the prostate gland are being damaged. All right? By what? Acids, right? I mean, there's only 2 sides of chemistry. The one side is the healing side. The other side, we're going to put up some pH for you to show you how you can create alkalosis, of course, and those things that are alkaline. I don't know if you guys, those that are doing a lot of sucrose, if you do way too much sucrose, then when your urine, you'll start smelling ammonia in it. Absolutely. You'll start seeing where the high alkalinity is. But, let me see. So, what causes prostate cancer? The failure of the kidneys to filter, correct? So, wait a minute. If the kidneys fail to filter, and they control the lymph system, the filtration of the lymph system, that means then this lymph system is all through the body. This means then that your lymph system is backed up all through you. That's exactly what it means. And I tell you, when you're diagnosed from an allopath that you have cancer in an area, you want to know immediately that your lymph is backed up to the point that it's breaking down those tissues within that respective area, whether it's the prostate, whether it's the lungs, whether it's the liver, doesn't matter. So I take it it's the right kidney that's not filtering in you. You know, you might check the right testicle and everything else, but if the liver's involved, my guess the right kidney's involved as well. They're not filtering. So that means everything on the right side, but even the left can be involved as well, is up for grabs. So you see this is the lymph backed up in the liver. Of course, that's acids backed up in the liver, causing nothing else there to back up. See, that's the point. There's nothing else there. You have blood and lymph. The blood must maintain its 7.4 pH or death is within a few minutes, so whatever the body has to do to maintain that pH. So think about this. Everybody loves their dead animal foods, but where's the pH of dead animal foods? Very acidic, right? And then we like our Coca-Colas and stuff, so now we're dumping in even more 3 pHs. And so you got all these acids dumping in, plus, plus all the acids created from the cells themselves with several pounds of those every day. But at least the blood gets an immediate hit from what you eat. So when someone says paleo diet, meat's good, think about what meat does to blood chemistry. Just eating a piece of meat creates severe negative in blood chemistry. So what does the blood have to do to bring itself back into balance? If you're not consuming electrolytes, or you eat foods that are electrolyte rich, but you cooked them and everything started bonding, now what do you got? So what you've got is a lot of acids and not a lot of bases. And so when acids dominate, then you see acidosis, inflammation, the destruction and deterioration, because acids are corrosive. And it's coming from the cells themselves. But initially the diet has been the big deal. That has reached and grabbed and destroyed the bowels, the kidneys. Even omnivores are very, very delicate about too much protein. You cannot feed your dog too much protein or you get rectal bleeding and everything else from them. You know, this whole protein myth has to be buried because protein is the problem. I mean, I was watching this thing about amyloid plaque in the brain, and it was having a commercial on Alzheimer's. Everybody calls it Alzheimer's, and I'm looking at that and saying, there's no T in there, there's no time in there. It's Alzheimer's. So you've got amyloid plaque. What you got is the same thing you got in everywhere else. You've got proteins or acids building up around a cell, which causes inflammation. Then you've got the mucus and you've got all the lymph response to those. And that's what you see. We're going to put a lot of these cells up and show you different cells and how they're broken down there. So how do you get rid of plaque? There's only one way. Detoxification. Let me see. My husband has always been healthy, not gotten any influences or anything from the past 40 years. It doesn't have to be. You can be a raw foodist and get cancer. I mean, let's use their name. I don't know. It's so hard when you've got, they're so dominant in using these names out there. Always know that when we use a medical name, I'm using it in disgust because this is just a fictitious name given a set of symptoms. We're more concerned with what's causing them these symptoms, and the medical doctors don't own that. They own the world diseases. Let them have it, because it'll implode their whole science. No such thing. Cause and effect. Chemistry and physics rules the world. Period. Everything has a cause and it has an effect. Everything. Everything. And nothing comes in for happenstance. Things are your bad luck. No such thing. My husband has always been, healthy, but for the last few years he has been better. Has been problems with his back for years. Well, okay, so here we go. When you start having problems with your back, and which part of the back? Lower back, right? Lower back. Now you're getting into the kidneys, the bladder, the prostate, the ovaries, the uterus. All that lower spine area is all related to those lower areas of the body. So you're going to have trouble with those areas. When you have trouble, he's going to have trouble with the lower spine with the prostatitis and prostate cancer. He's going to have trouble with the lower spine, L4, L5 with the kidneys. So he's going to have trouble with that. And that's the first warning sign, is you're having trouble with the lower back. There's not enough awareness about kidneys and checking urine filtrations and stuff yet. Only you guys are privy to that. So more and more people are understanding that and waking up to that and checking that, thanks to you guys. You guys need to be thanked. You guys are doing really well out there. I hope you appreciate all the good work you're doing and helping all these people. You guys are great. He doesn't take any medicines. In September last year, he started to notice that he did not have the same power when peeing as before. He did not think a lot about it. So we're going on down here. Approximately 10 days later, he got a new blood test, and that showed elevated PSA. So they did an ultrasound on his prostate, gallbladder, lungs, kidneys, and liver. At this point, the immense in the blood looked good. Potassium was fine, but the gallbladder had a big stone, and they found something they could not explain in his kidneys. Ooh, I wonder, and lungs. But they did not suspect cancer. But worst of all, they found out that he had a prostate cancer, and they said they had 3 kinds of OG prostate cancer, and what he has is the worst. Well, let me give you some good news. I don't care if it's the worst or whatever for them. It's all bad for them, but not for your hubby. Now, your hubby's got to get on an all-fruit, berry, and melon diet. Get on the herbs. Start getting in those kidneys and get him filtering. Your prostate's real close to the kidneys, so you can really get that taken care of fairly quick if you get the kidneys filtering fairly quick. So you really want to get in on this and get your hubby detoxing right now. Don't wait. I know the trouble is that some of these are a little older. I have to admit that we got scared, and maybe I got more scared than my husband. That's understandable. The woman always is the love of the world. the doctors want him to have the regular treatment with radiation and medicines. But he does not want to do that. No kidding. I mean, you got to go to that, Google the CBS special on prostate cancer. I think you'll have another opinion because, again, we tried to show you some opinions. If you do nothing, you'll live a lot longer. But, you know, this is so much crap. People think about immediately when they're diagnosed with cancer, death. And that's only because of most people die from the treatment of cancer as opposed to the cancer guys. Remember I read you that from the chemist and the medical doctor that did a lot of studies way back? But this has just been proved study after study. CBS proved it in their special, if you do nothing. So don't freak out. Now, he changed his diet, eliminating all milk, sugar, and most meats. Eliminate all that now. You know what? Nothing, I don't know how much experience people have, but nothing is worth, in other words, changing your diet to a fruit diet for a few months is no big deal compared to what you are going to go through allopathically treating this. Let me tell you, it's so much easier to go on a 20-day grape fast than it is to go have your prostate removed or have the seeds or have radiation, which then fries your spine, your lower back, and everything else. All right? This lady really loves her husband. She even sent me some pictures. I love a woman like that. But he has made up his mind and wants to cure himself. I love your husband, too. Ha! We went to the doctor last week. He was not very optimistic. And, well, what kind of optimism would he have? You know, medical doctors can't cure anything, so what kind of optimism would you expect from him? None. And you're not going to get any, because there is none. You power yourself up, just like your husband wants to do. Power himself up. Because if you do nothing, you'll have your husband longer. Remember earlier discovery, earlier treatment, earlier death. I mean, these are facts not echoed from me. These are facts by, remember the head of the Chemical Society of America? I mean, he's a pretty smart fella. Medical doctors have said this. Let me see here. Let me see. He has requested, but is now offering my husband a hormone treatment that he says slows down cancer growth and then laser treatment in 3 months. What they want to do is something like Lupron. Now, Lupron is a testosterone inhibitor, but inhibiting the adrenal glands. Never do you want to inhibit the adrenal glands. Now listen to this. So why would you inhibit testosterone, or in females, aromadex, tamoxifen, which are actually cancer-causing by the World Health Organization, cancer-causing pharmaceuticals, but they give them to suppress estrogen. So why? Why suppress estrogen or testosterone in cancer? Oh, they're steroids, right? Not hormones, they're steroids, but why? Because they're acidic steroids, right? I mean, I don't see where they ever awake out of this nightmare of all these years of dealing with cancers, how the medical community, why these lymphologists are so much smarter medical doctors. My husband is considering it, but is not very positive about it. And I don't blame him, honey, because what you do to Mr. Prostate affects your life for the rest of your life, honey. And you can fix this and have a good life the rest of your life. You got to fix it one way or another, or you'll lose him one way or another. You can't throw your husband into the 6% oncology success rate in 5 years. Now, you can go and have him tout your first year. I have been searching advices for different people, and that is how I heard from you. I have been watching your videos, and it affects my opinion, but I am still in doubt. Don't be. We've had so many people. I mean, prostate cancer, these are what, you know, what the medical doctors call that. That's been fairly easy for us. I don't use the word easy in that way, but I don't know too many men that have succumbed to that under our care. That's for sure. So I don't know where that is. I got a friend of mine to take a picture of my husband's eyes. Smart woman. And would be so grateful if you would look at them for me. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Lots of love to you too. And this is Hilda. Wow. Kristen's... I can't pronounce your last name, huh? All right, here's what we got. And what we got is a heavy lymphatic system. Big time. Take a look at this, guys. Take a look at these. Look at this thickness in this green eye. What color eyes are these anyway? Brown or blue? They're blue, but they look a little green. This is real thick lymph everywhere. Look at these radius solaris up out of the transverse colon into his brain. Well, let's look at the right eye. I'm just going to take it that you have these right. Okay, so what we've got is chronic GI tract and stomach problems. The GI tract includes the stomach, but he's got some real stomach problems going on here. He's got to fix these. That's real important, or there's going to be another place you're going to be looking for serious trouble here. You've got some decay and atrophy in the stomach. You've got some radius solaris going up into the head, including the cerebellum on the right side. The pituitary gland is chronic. The pineal gland is down, so I don't know if he has insomnia, but it's possible. And the pituitary is down, meaning all the other glands can go down with it. Husband's got some fairly good genes here, got some nerve rings. There's only about 2 or 3 in here, meaning the adrenals are down. I go to the kidney and adrenals. Right kidney's chronic, adrenals chronic. Prostate is just a lot of lymph going on, but you have a chronic bladder, man, too. So you've got chronic kidney and bladder and lower back going here. You got to fix that bladder and kidneys. That's key, because it just won't be the prostate. Prostate isn't that bad in terms of weakness or deterioration, but it's enough to say you need to regenerate. The appendix and groin area on the right side is involved, and the right hip. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Absolutely. And in time, it could go right down the femur to the knee. So your right hip, you have a little pancreatic weakness, but gallbladder, you have more than a stone in your gallbladder, my friend. Your gallbladder is on the road to going down another way. You've got a very, very chronic gallbladder here. So you want to fix that gallbladder, or I don't think you're going to keep it. So that's important. This is the gallbladder. See if you guys can see this little dark mark right there. That's a little around 8 o'clock. That's gallbladder right side. See all these black lines going up of the bowels there. That's going up into the brain, encompassing the pituitary. If I look on the left side, I see the same thing up here. So this transverse portion of the bowel's got to be fixed here. Sinuses are impacted here, chronically so. Again, you got more cerebellum. Your husband has some problems here, and I tell you what, he's got the setup for MS too. You got the nerve rings, you got the adrenals down, you got the cerebellum involvement, mastoid involvement a little bit here on the left side, the pituitary, the pineal's down. So you got some things to get to handle up here. The rest of the body looks pretty good. I'll tell you this, I'd probably do a little work on the spleen too. That's white blood cells and platelets. Got a little spleen going on here. A little either left testicle or left hip going on. Here's adrenal. Kidney looks a little better, but still genetically involved. Bladder looks better on the left side, but still a little involved. More lower back on the left side, a little more prostate involved on the left side. Of course, the rectal area is involved a little bit as well. Outside of that, your sigmoid flexure is prolapsed down. If I'm looking at the parathyroid gland, I definitely probably use that a little bit and work on my parathyroid gland. So real quick, I hope that's enough to help you there, guys. But it's enough to say I'm going to root for getting rid of this inflammation and the breaking down of cells in the prostate, and also clean up the liver and gallbladder. Vital that you do that one. I see the gallbladder as a serious problem coming, and also the stomach and bowels. The pituitary is essential that you fix. That controls everything that's involved. Isn't that good what you can see in the eyes like that? A lot of goodies. Now, let me see here. This is, I don't know who this is Alex. Hi, Alex. Hello, Doc. I'm new on your channel. Thanks, Alex, for coming on. Male, 105 pounds. Ooh, skinny. 5'7". Ooh, 26 years old. Puerto Rico. Yeah. And have been. You know, I was down there with a naturopath, Felipe. I don't know if you know Felipe. He's a naturopath down there. I don't know where he's at now. But we went over to the DR to try to get the old dictator's mansion, because the Presidente, we had cleaned the Presidente's wife up of pancreatic cancer. So the dictator, or the Presidente of the DR at the time, said, come down, I'll give you the old dictator's mansion. And it had 55 duplexes, like 500 acres or something. So I went down, met Felipe, we went over there and looked at it, but couldn't even get there. Some of us got pretty sick because of the high acid air there from all the lack of catalytic converters and stuff. So it was real bad. So that didn't pan out, but it's just a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Puerto Rico, and have been on a potato and carrot diet for 6 years. Holy crap, my friend. Got a lot of starch there. Would you recommend a supplement from Twin Labs called Enzymatically Digested Liquid Yeast? Not on your life. If so, you can get your B vitamins from your fresh fruits and veggies, man, and you're down in Puerto Rico. I just shipped out of that potato carrot syndrome and go into my fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables. That's a much better way to go. Anything that's yeast or anything that's tied to that, I wouldn't do it. We used to give nutritional yeast, brewer's yeast, things like that, for all the B vitamins and stuff, you know, and it's like, yeah, then everybody's bitching about fungus and candida and everything else. Now, this is digested liquid, and you know, who knows, but it's like, yeah, you know what, again, putting stuff in the body I think is not necessary, and that'd be one of them, in my opinion. You asked for it. If so, do you recommend to use it or combine it with any food group or alone? What else can I do to gain weight? Fix malabsorption. And fix what Ian fixed. Ian got real skinny too. He got real skinny, and of course then he learned what the problem was, his lymph system and interstitial lymphatic constipation. Fixed it, and look at him now. I mean, that's just what you do. I mean, you fix this because you have to fix this. I'd also look at your pancreas. Get a picture of your eyes and look at it, my friend. But you're either dealing with pancreatic weakness where you're not digesting your carbs properly, or you have malabsorption. I'll go for the malabsorption, and that also, when you're malabsorbed, that means you're also malabsorbed as the lipid carrier, so you're malabsorbed on your lipids as well. It just always goes that way. So I would suggest you fix malabsorption. You're going to be skinny for a while, but you're already skinny. So go through that cycle. You'll come out on the other side and gain muscle the right way. Then you can pump green drinks and whatever you want to put on adequate muscle. But fix your pancreas, liver, gallbladder, and digestive tract. But always, number one in everybody, always remember, lymphatic system, because that's the system that makes everything go down.
Do you have a hammer? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah. The hammer, I've got a little table there with tools on it. I'll take you a tour of my office now and see if you think we're getting it. We're getting it. Should I fast to repair the digestive system? Again, you could take this Karyn's advice and water fast, but I don't think water fasting is really appropriate for someone like you. I think seriously, get into some herbs that enhance kidney function, get kidneys to filter, also to help move the lymph system. Use some GI broom, really go after your GI tract here. And I might make some pancreatic herbs. You know, go on a couple kits if you can afford it. But let people know around you you're detoxifying and you're going to fix your malabsorption so they don't say, oh, you're looking skinny. Of course, because you're already skinny. But if you fix this, I had a lady bring in her daughter one time, and her daughter was only 15 years old. And so her daughter's sitting there in front of me and her mom says, and her mom was a little bold, I guess, I don't know. And she says, I want you to clean the candida out of my daughter. So I looked at her daughter and I said, hi, honey. And I turned to her mom and I said, well, let me tell you something. Your daughter has another very, very serious problem. And her mother looked at me and says, what's that? I said, see how skinny she is? As soon as I said that, this girl started crying like crazy. And I said, oh, you eat all you want, don't you? You're not bulimic or what? You're eating all you want. She said, I eat all I want. I said, you're malabsorbed and you have a little pancreatic weakness. I fixed that, and she's a model now in New York. You can fix things, guys. That's what our message is to the world. You know, we're working on the mind and stagnation and a medical community that's stagnant. It's just raking in money for donations and what? Because of wrong theories, wrong ideas. So everybody donates all this money to people that have wrong theories and wrong ideas and don't cure anything. Start donating to people that are curing people. You know, there's a lady across on the East Coast that donated $10 million to the Miami Project, which is spinal cord injury, a football player. And the trouble is, I'm regenerating neurological systems through diet and herbs. No one else is really doing that. And so they had Chris over there, I think, at one time. So I called this lady up, very wealthy lady, and I said, honey, they've been involved for years. They don't regenerate anything. We regenerate tissue. We've gotten people up out of chairs many times. She says, I've already donated all I can. So she donated just for the money of it. Let me see here. What else can I do? Should I fast? Okay, no on that. I fasted for 3 days, and now I'm 100% raw, but no bowel movement after 3 days. Had to use enema. Yeah, here's the thing. Get on. That's what I'm saying. Here's another side of it. There's so much to this that when I hear some people say things like, there's a lot to being a good practitioner, I'll tell you that. So with this young man, you would want to give him a bowel formula, like a stomach and bowel number 2. At the same time, you want to go into his kidney and adrenal glands, because you know probably with this, and what he's kind of hitting at, that he is a little low on the nervous system here. So you want to enhance, of course, you're going after his lymph system so he can get better absorption through the bowel wall, through the villi of the small bowel, into the capillaries of the blood or lymph, because there's both being nutritive factors. So both systems. Now, the blood system is so much easier. So you want to keep this guy's bowels moving. At the same time now, you're going to start cleaning this guy's gut up. With stomach and bowel formulas and stuff like this. GI brooms, because you don't know whether he's got sulfur or anything unless you see his eyes. One thing when you're thin like this, that you're malabsorbed and or pancreatic, gallbladder, liver weakness. Mostly you can go on the malabsorption, because always, without exception, you work on the lymphatic system without exception. Then you can go use herbs to enhance liver function, kidney. Oh, I forgot. Herbs only suppress. They don't. You can use herbs for the liver. You can use herbs for anything to enhance and make well. So that's the way I would go after that. I would use the pancreatic. To save money, I would alternate 1 bottle of pancreas, 1 bottle of liver gallbladder, 1 bottle of pancreas, 1 bottle of liver gallbladder. That way you're taking care of all these tissues. But you always want to fix the lymphatic system, because that is the main reason for malabsorption. And at the same time, you're cleaning the mucosa for mucoid plaque. Any pocketed areas where you have impactions, you're cleaning that. You're enhancing the adrenal glands, which is enhancing peristalsis, but it's also enhancing the autonomic. You're just fixing everything that deals with digestion and absorption, because remember the 4 aspects of health and vitality: digestion, absorption, utilization, glands, hormones and steroids, and then elimination. And we're talking elimination, not just digestive waste, we're talking elimination cellular waste. So you got all those to consider. So Alex, that's what I would do, young man. I would go in there and start cleaning up my GI tract and my digestive needs. Oh, we're doing a lot of remodeling, because we just recently hired 4 new people to help. So apologize for anybody waiting on their stuff. This is from Milton. Hey, Milton. I just discovered your video. Questions: how do I, 1, reverse an inguinal hernia? 2, let's stop there. Parathyroid. Get a parathyroid glandulars. I'd say 2 bottles, and use a bones formula where you have, I had to take my comfrey out, but I might put that back in. But anything that has a lot of either kelp in it, and high calcium type formulas, either a superfood blend or a bones formula or something, and start working on that. At the same time, that's connective tissue strengthening. At the same time, you would really want to get your kidneys filtering and all that sort of thing. Read without glasses. Good question. I need to work on myself. Eye wash. Use the eye wash 2 times a day. Also get up and set upper circ, brain, and nerve. Start moving that lymph out of that head area, and getting your sinuses drained and all that sort of thing. It'll also open up the hearing as well. Also, it'll open up the sense of smell and taste as well. Reverse cold, numb, and swollen feet. Fix your kidneys. Fix your kidneys. That's a really, really important thing. So Milton, fix your kidneys and adrenal glands. This will start opening up the lymphatic system, and this will actually kick back and help the hernia and help the eyes. Cold, numb fingers, don't like that. If you're cold hands and feet, take a look at the thyroid gland. Check your basal temperatures under your arm. Make sure you're around 97.5 or above for that sort of thing. But I can tell you, swollen and all that, it's your kidneys. So you have kidney issues, which is common. Kidneys are the big issues, guys. Much more prevalent than one thinks. Build and strengthen muscles. Fix your digestion and absorption, like we were just talking to Alex like that. Get that up there and open up your absorption where you can then build muscles. Change your diet to proper amino acids, which is going to come from vegetable green drinks and vegetables, as opposed to pumping any type of protein, which only serves to acidify the body, destroy the kidneys, and take you down the other way. Reverse gray hair, upper circ, and get that lymph moving out of the brain. Thanks, Milton. Good man. Take off after that, my man. This is A. Bartholomew. I'm not sure what matters in life. Yeah. You know, even in spirituality, you get to the point where what does matter. Because you get to the point that you can't care for anything or you get the blowback from it. So, Jesus talked about it. Buddha talked about it. A lot of the famous spiritual beings talked about it. Detachment. But detachment breeds divine love. Hard to explain that. Because divine love is a love for everything. Personal love is a love for that which one chooses to put his attention on. Ooh, I got to have some more of this before it goes. Oh my God. But it rips you to where you don't care about this world anymore, because you want to leave it, you want to experience other worlds, then don't care so much for this one. You control your attention. Your attention is your consciousness. Wherever you are, wherever you put, that's you. That's you looking. When you're in creation, you're looking through mind, and you've got three different bodies dealing with the mind. You've got the subconscious mind, it's the id, the ego, as Miss Young would say, the id. So then you've got the pure mind, the universal mind. Volumes have been written about the universal mind, why we all can think the same thoughts, why someone in Russia can think the same thing as someone in America, see the same type of experiments and stuff. Universal mind. Then you have the causal mind. The causal mind, that's your past, present, and future. That is your duality. That's your records. That's real creation. That's when you really see activity and movement. And then you have your astral body. That's your emotional body. That's your emotions. That's your adrenal glands. And then you have your physical body. The physical body is the only one of those bodies that are chemical. The rest of them are energetic bodies, made of the essence of the fibers of the realms they're from. So you're looking through these bodies. And if you want to know God, which is the infinite, you can't be looking at the finite and trying to find the infinite through the finite. Impossible. It'll keep you chasing itself forever. I've always said the seeker of God never finds God. Quit seeking and understand that just let things happen. Be in the now as you see all these words that are coming out in books and things, because that's the way God's waking itself up. It uses itself to wake itself up. It's a buddy system. I've always said that. That's why we're being buddies here. I'm extending my hand in love. I'll show you the way to God consciousness and the way to Wellville. And have fun on the journey. It's fun. You know, don't get freaked out. Life is to be expanded, and it's so big. We live these little bitty soap opera lives here on planet Earth. Bumping uglies with everybody. And when you decide you want to know more of that which exists, it will rip you until you finally just let go. As soon as you let go, and anybody's been practicing out-of-body experience, notice that when you try to have an out-of-body experience, you can't, but as soon as you let go, you do. That is how nowness, how thin nowness is, as opposed to activity. So it can rip you to the point where nothing matters anymore. You wonder where happiness is. You wonder what's up. And you realize you're the source of your own happiness. You start waking up to a higher level. So it can rip you. It can rip you, but it's only doing it because you want to know more of the infinite. And if you want to know more of the infinite, it's going to rip the finite from you. See where I'm going? So it's better to practice detachment now and don't care. I had this guy once, I was down, I think I told you, I was buying a Volkswagen, and I was buying a Volkswagen Bug. I had a diesel, and I'm going, ooh, 45 miles to the gallon. I'm going, oh yeah, this is good. So they had this $130,000 Volkswagen luxury car on the showroom floor, and I never heard of anything like that. And I was looking at it, and he was telling me this very wealthy guy came and bought one. Went out to his car, get a baseball bat out of his car, went to the back of his car and slammed it with a baseball bat, his new one, his $130,000 car. He says, now, I don't have to worry about door dings. I mean, I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm not sure what matters in life apart from spirituality and living a healthy lifestyle so to support spirituality. I'm 110% with you, my friend, 110% with that. Because this body comes and goes. Get it healthy, get it happy, but don't make this your lifelong it. Make your you make that what's real. Because that's what's real. Get to know yourself more. Spend time alone. Get yourself a treehouse. You guys watch the Treehouse Masters? How about building wild? Are those guys crazy? That guy's always like this, you know, but they do some wild stuff. Last night they built this airplane type of little man cave thing. Can you please share your thoughts on this? You betcha, my friend. You know, you hit it right on the head. For me, the only thing that matters is God, guys. That's the only thing. Because everything else comes and goes. Everything can be ripped and torn apart. This is creation. Here today, gone tomorrow, so to speak. It's atom rearrangement time. This is playland. Don't take it too seriously. They're taking it so seriously, they're ripping these souls and bodies apart over in the East. Give me a break. This is all a big game. Wake up. Don't play your role so seriously. After all, it's how God experiences itself. So get more who you are. And I agree. Health is to support your consciousness. Because it's not fun trying to have fun and walk around on this planet in pain, or those can't even walk around anymore that are bedridden. And how about these young souls coming in with new bodies they haven't even had? All karma. You have to realize that. Can't get too emotionally involved. But at the same time, you can help them wind through their karma because you know they created this and you know how to help them uncreate this. This is why you can never do it for anybody. You practitioners don't get involved. Every soul created each one of them these experiences themselves. Let them have it. You're just there as a way shower. You're showing them the way to Wellville and to Godville. You'll be surprised. Love you, man. You're right on. I'm right with you on this one. There's nothing else that matters. Everything else can be torn apart. What matters is you and your survival beyond this world. Dear Shannon, I hope that you are well. I met with Dr. Ron Logan, who is an iridologist in the USA. He has worked with Dr. Jensen before. Everybody's worked with Doc, huh? He told me about a product that is called Stemtech SE2. You know, when someone says something about tech, I immediately know it's a manufactured formula, which increases one's adult stem cells. I do not know if you have ever heard of this. After about 60 days, his eyesight was totally 20/20. Please will you see about it from Dr. Morse or Marcy? Yeah, you know what? I'll look this up. I don't know. I'll have to do some research on this to see what this is and what they're claiming here. A advancement in cellular renewal. Help nature do what it is designed to do. Well, that's the point, and aptly put. Nature is the regenerator, but look at all these things they added to this. I can't even pronounce them. Adult stem cells from bone marrow, huh? I don't know what that is. Sounds like a chemical. An AFA concentrate. Afanosominin something? They got all kinds of stuff here. I don't know. You got some herbs in here. You got some mushrooms in here. So I'll look at it, sweetheart. Let you know. Let you know what that one is. Cosette. Is that the name there? Thank you for all your work. You're welcome. I have a question about my husband. Look at all these females that want their husbands well. For you husbands, I get this all the time. Your women want you well. These are good women. I mean, when your wife wants you well, she doesn't want you down. That's a pretty good woman. So he has a question about my husband who lost totally the sense of smell. You've got to clean these sinuses out. get these old factories back and running again. But you got to get these sinuses cleaned out and you get the sense of smell back. So you got to drain the sinus areas. And the sinus sits right up on the GI tract. So where are you going? This is all the lymph system again. It's mucus. So you're going to go back to the kidneys and adrenals. You're going to get that moving, get the bowels cleaned up so the sinuses can come down and drain down and outwardly and just detox. That cleans that right up. You'll get your sense of smell back, but also with that a keener sense of taste and sight and hearing as well. It happened gradually years ago, and now it is completely gone. This is all lymph, all congested. His body is in bad shape as he's had for a long time. Huge digestion. See what I'm saying? Sitting right on top of the GI tract. And that's always the case. You got to fix up the bowels to take on it. But you see, when you start looking at these things over the years and reading all these related symptoms in the body, they start making sense how it relates, right? So you start seeing how the lymph moves and things and how that works. Better to know that way than through science, than through school, because schools are teaching other people's opinions so much that there's just not a lot of good information in schools anymore, in my opinion. You can learn the ABCs, but that's all, to me, schools are good for. A good school is going to have experienced practitioners in there helping to teach and showing you reality in that. He also stopped his work 6 months ago for burnout. Since, well, he might want to work on the adrenals and kidneys. He got to get the lymph moving. Since 1 year, he started to go on raw food and vegetable juices. He also takes medicinal plants. There is for I think, moment, no improvement for his sense of smell. Well, you got to get into some serious detox. And until you start seeing cold and flu or mucus coming out of the sinuses quite a bit, cleaning up the bowels, you're probably not going to see it. You're not just going to see it returned because it's being suppressed. You got to remove that which is suppressing it. Well, what is that? Blood? Blood doesn't suppress anything. It is mucus and lymph, and that is what's the problem. And so clean that, and notice how he loses it a little at a time? Well, he'll gain it right back. He'll gain it back quicker than he lost it, which is nice. Would you have some specific protocol to help regenerate this function? Absolutely. Get on these kits, or look how they're put together and get those kind of herbs for yourself. Get up on an all fruit, berry, and melon diet for a while, or do some little, 10-day, 20-day fast on grapes and stuff like that, and start promoting this movement of lymph, and this will clean out. Again, he could use a real good cold and flu-like symptom, and, clean him out, and that'll all open up. It happens to everyone. Best regards, and best regards to you. Excuse my bad English. You don't have bad English. Matter of fact, isn't there said there's no such thing as bad English? Because it's like Spanish. You've got a million different varieties. Who cares? Roger. Hey, Roger. Since June, I just read this one, I'm about out. Roger, since June 2013, I have been working with your program in all aspects, other than what I would call a period of adjustment during the winter of 13-14. My routine has included at least the Fab 4 herbs. Well, good idea. Here in Southeast Mass, boy, I'm meeting a lot of Massachusettsians. We had one of the, toughest periods of winter in a lifetime. No kidding. And if I remember right in the weather, you've got another one coming your way, or you're in one right now. So, yeah. Since the end of January to now, I know you guys get your butt kicked. We have very little left up here to what call attacking winter. Suffice to say, it has been a challenge to stay with the fruits. I hear you. And all that I have done. It came to mind the other day that approximately age 8 in early 1955, I had to have my appendix removed. Ouch! So that told you right there you had a chronic appendix, and you're 8 years old. That means you were born with bowels. Bowel issues. Now that I know, I can see how this might have come about. Memory tells me that I often would be constipated and mother would have to give me something to relieve it. Yeah, and me too. That's the other problem. I used to have bad constipation. I can't, being a kid, you don't think about pooping, but I bet you that 7-year-old does. You parents are so smart. You raw food parents, and raising your kids and raw foods and going after their health and training them. I tried with my son. I had him a fruitarian till he was 6, or my younger son. Fruitarian till he was 6. And then salads till he was about 12. But then staying overnight with kids and stuff, you know, he started eating bad at other people's houses, and then down he went. But at least I had a time. Now my grandson's coming, and this guy, man, you saw the one grandson there. That's well, he's my, let's see, I've got two granddaughters who are in their 20s. I've got Justin, you saw him, he's now 10, or will be 10. He did that video when he was 6. Cute, huh? Kids. Future, guys, the future. Got to take care of them. In all the videos of yours I have seen, I can't remember you talking specifically about anything one could do with diet and herbs to help with the appendix removed. If you would comment on this, I would greatly appreciate it. I've never seen anybody grow back an appendix. And people might say, well, that sounds bizarre. But I've seen tonsils grow back and everything else, and these are lymph nodes, lymph tissues. But there's tissues. Tissues can regrow. It's enough to say that it does show a very chronic bowel area, so you want to get into the GI tract with stomach and bowel formulas. Maybe for a couple of months then switch to Heal All Tea capsules. At the same time, I'd use GI brooms to really cleaning my gut up. But you got to go through the lymph system, because this is why you lost your appendix, was your lymph system in your gut wall. So that also is suggestive that when you have your appendix and things like this that's popping and stuff, you also have malabsorption going on. I mean, this is a lymphatic, interstitial lymphatic problem here. And you've got to recognize that. The appendix is just a lymph part of that, and that went. So really got to spend some time on that. The raw foods are key, obviously. The fruits too, very key to that. And I get on the GI tract formulas and the GI broom and go out and clean my gut up really well. In closing, I would like to say that for years and years, I have had the mind that someday I wanted to do a real spiritual dietary healing fast. Part of my mindset has been to prepare for this with my lifestyle. I'm 100% with you. Yeah, and follow through with that. Make that your focus, because there's nothing like it. Growing, becoming more awake and more aware, nothing like it. You know, we're treated like little animals running around by the narcissistic elitists. So we need to expose our spirituality and the truth of what all this is. My intent was to start with the current new moon, but now I may have to put it off until next month, as the weather here looks like, I know, I heard about that. So good to you, Roger. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And have fun on that, too. That's the whole idea of all of this, is to also have fun. Life doesn't have to always rip you, you know. All right, I have to go for now, but I am almost done with my office and everything else, so I can do so much more videos, so I'm happy about that. Let me take you a little final look on this. I still got a few little things to do, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your work, all the work on yourselves, all you spiritually inclined individuals. Keep it up. Keep it working in the now. Keep trying to overcome the control of the mind on your consciousness. Turn it around. Mind works for me, not the other way around. Love you guys. Namaste.